Ladies and gentlemen, I want to call to order the Washoe County Planning Commission meeting for Tuesday, May 2nd, 2023. And if I could get a roll call for determination of quorum, please.
Sarah Savilicek.
Here.
Francine Donchik.
Here.
Michael Flick.
Here.
Dan Lazareski. Here. Kate Nelson.
Here.
Pat Phillips. Pat has actually called in. She won't be here tonight, so please let the record reflect that Commissioner Phillips is absent. Rob Pierce.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Lazareski, if you could lead the pledge, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If we could have the ethics law read, please.
Commissioners are reminded that if with respect to any matter or any person coming before the commission today, number 1, you've received a gift or loan. Number 2, you have a pecuniary interest. Number 3, you have a commitment in a private capacity such as a family, employment, business, or similar relationship. Or number 4, if you've provided representation or counseling before an agency to a person or entity for compensation within the last year on a matter being considered here today, please remember to disclose that gift, loan, interest, commitment, or prior representation at the time the matter is being considered. And furthermore, please abstain from deliberation or voting on the matter if it's clear that the gift, loan, interest, commitment, or prior representation would materially affect the independence of judgment of a reasonable person. Commissioners are also reminded that under the Planning Commission rules, if you've had any contact outside this meeting with any persons interested in a matter coming before the commission today, please disclose the nature of that contact at this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gustafson. Secretary Lloyd, if we could have the appeal procedure, please.
Sure. Most decisions rendered by the Planning Commission are appealable to the Board of County Commissioners. If you disagree with the decision of the Planning Commission and you qualify as an aggrieved person or party, you may appeal in writing within 10 calendar days from the date that the decision being appealed is reduced to writing, filed with the Secretary of the Planning Commission, and mailed to the original applicant in the proceeding being appealed in accordance with Washoe County Code. Please call the planning staff immediately at 328-6100 for information on the appeal procedure and the application fee.
Thank you, Secretary Lloyd. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, is there any public comment either in chambers or via Zoom?
I have no public comment in chambers. I have no hands raised on Zoom.
All right, thank you. Then we will close public comment and move on for the approval of the May 2nd, 2023 agenda. Is there a motion?
This is Rob. I'll move that we accept and approve as written.
Thank you, Commissioner Pierce. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Lazareski. So we have a first and a second. Any questions? Hearing none. All those in favor? Aye. Aye. Next is item 7, approval of the April 4th, 2023 minutes. Is there a motion?
Commissioner Lazareski, I move to approve as written.
Thank you, Commissioner Lazareski.
This is Rob. I'll second it.
Thank you, Commissioner Pierce. We have a first and a second. Are there any corrections at this time? Hearing none. All those in favor? Aye. Aye. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, next item is item 8A. Secretary, just as a reminder, this is a consent item, so this is not something that we're going for a large thing. So unless there is some serious concerns, all this is a request for a 2-year extension, which is totally within bounds. So Secretary Lloyd, if you could read this first, please.
Sure. This item before you is tentative subdivision map case number TM0007-002 for an extension of time request for tentative subdivision map case number TM007002. This is Montreux 2000 for hearing, discussion, and possible action to approve an extension of time for the expiration of the approved of subdivision for 2 years from July 24th, 2023 until July 24th, 2025. The subdivision was originally approved by the Planning Commission on September 21st, 2000 for 357 single-family lots. The Planning Commission may grant an extension of not more than 2 years for the presentation of any final map. After the 2-year period for presentation, a successive final map has expired in accordance with NRS 278-360. So representing Washoe County on this matter is Senior Planner Roger Pellin.
Thank you, Secretary Lloyd. Again, ladies and gentlemen, this is a consent item. We previously have approved this. All this is asking for a 2-year extension. So unless somebody has some questions, we can just take a vote on this. Is there,
I move to approve the consent agenda.
thank you, Commissioner Javilcek.
This is Rob, I second it.
Thank you. We have a first and a second to approve. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, moving on. We have a public hearing for item 9A. Secretary Lloyd, if you would, please.
Yeah, this item is amendment of conditions, case number WAC 230003, the Rock Springs Solar Project, for an amendment to SUP 210001. For hearing, discussion, and possible action to approve an amendment of conditions for special use permit case number WSUP 210001, Rock Springs Solar, to increase the battery storage from 84 megawatts to 124 megawatts. Representing Washoe County in this matter is Planner Julie Olander.
Thank you, Julie. Before you get started, are there any disclosures, either ethics or ex parte, on this item, ladies and gentlemen? Hearing none. Thank you, Julie.
Good evening, Julie Olander for the record. So this is an amendment of conditions. Okay, this is amendment, this is amendment of conditions for the Rock Springs Solar Plan from 84 megawatts to 120 megawatts.
Julie, is your mic on? Because it's not.
Oh. Never have to turn this thing on. I don't.
Now it is.
Now it is.
Okay.
Thank you, Sarah. I didn't catch that.
So here's a vicinity map. You can see where Lake Pyramid is on the right-hand side, and then the site is located way over on the left, right next to the California border. So this came before you in May 4th, 2021, and the request was basically to build this plant, and they were asking for to establish a 120 megawatt I don't know if I need to read through all this, generating facility and 84 megawatt battery energy storage system. And then they also was portion of the request was for major grading, and then they also requested to vary the height, landscaping, and parking of the structure there. The request, as I said, was asking to waive the landscaping and the paved parking requirement. This project also, because of the regional significance of the 5 megawatt of electricity, it required it to go before the Regional Planning Commission, which it did on December 6, 2021, and was approved. Here is a layout of the site and the battery storage building where it's located. I've labeled. And as I said, they're asking for this increase, and this increase is because of NB Energy is asking for an increase. They want to have that, have more storage out there for future uses. 49 parcels were noticed. I had to go out 3,500 feet to get those 49 parcels, but they were noticed. And then there's some conditions. There are very few amendments to the conditions of approval. Planning provided some, and then fire did too, and those are in your staff report. And I provide a possible motion. Now, I'm available for any questions.
Thank you, Julie. Is there an applicant presentation, or they're comfortable with just you doing the?
I did not hear back from the applicant, and I don't believe they're in the audience. So I would say that they did not. They didn't. I know when I talked to them originally, they were going to just be available for questions, but they are not here, as far as I know.
All right, thank you. At this point, ladies and gentlemen, is there any public comment, either in chambers or via Zoom? I know we received a few emails, but
I do not have public comment in chambers, but I do have a hand raised on Zoom. So Al Thompson, please state your name for the record and unmute.
Hi, my name is Alexandra Thompson. I am here tonight representing RWE Clean Energy, which we're the owners of CEB Rock Springs. So we're the applicant for this. Thank you, Julie, and all of the commissioners for being present tonight. I don't have any comments, but I'm on the line if I can answer any questions.
Thank you, Alexandria. Is there any more public comment?
No, there's no further public comment online or in chambers.
All right, thank you. Then I will close public comment and bring it back to the commission for if they have any questions for staff or the applicant via Zoom at this time.
What's the ramification for increasing the storage capacity? Just power?
You have a question? Staff, Julie?
Where are you?
Yeah, go. She sat and we didn't see her.
Okay.
So Commissioner Flick, if you have a question, then
Yeah,
you might please.
It's on.
okay. What are the ramifications of just increasing the volume that they can store in the batteries? Is there any other offshoot from that?
I'm Julie Olander for the record. I'm not aware of any. Maybe the applicant can provide some information on that, but as far as I know, it's just the increase because of NV Energy's request to have that storage.
Okay.
Hi, this is Al Thompson, again, from RWE Clean Energy. It's really just an upsize of the technology within the housing that was already contemplated under the approved permit. There's no additional footprint. It doesn't change any of the cut and fill or grading. It doesn't change any of the sort of physical environmental impacts. It's really just adding more of the modular battery energy storage pieces into those into that housing.
Okay, so it's just adding storage capacity, period.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Any further questions? Yes, Commissioner Loreski.
Commissioner Lazareski, question for the applicant. Some of the residents out there have expressed concern about the amount of truck traffic on the roads. Do you have an estimate on how many additional truckloads the upsizing?
I don't think this affects it at all.
I do not. If you'll give me a moment, let me see if our application information has anything
Changing that at all.
specific to that. This is a relatively minor change in terms of what would be brought to the site, in part because this is just a relatively small component of the project as a whole. Julie showed that map of the solar plant, and this battery energy storage component is a relatively small piece. That's sort of the southeastern portion of that. These, technologies, it's this basically the housing is basically sort of a shipping container size. So I don't want to speak out of turn by just coming up with an estimated guess on truck trips, but I would say that it would be like in this single percentile, single percentage change, if anything. It would be very minimal.
Okay. Thank you.
Commissioners, any further questions? Hearing none, I will close the question and bring it back for a possible motion.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Commissioner Flick.
I would move that after giving reasonable consideration to the information contained in the staff report and information received during the public hearing, the Washoe County Planning Commission approve amendment of conditions case number WAC 23-0003 for SED Rock Springs Solar LLC with the amended condition included as Exhibit A to this matter, having made all 5 findings in accordance with Washoe County Code Section 110.810.30.
Thank you, Commissioner Flick. Do we have a second in this motion?
This is Rob, I'll second it.
Thank you, Commissioner Pierce. We have a first and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. The motion passes. Moving right along, we're, excuse me, up to item 10, Chair and Commission items. Under 10A, future agenda items. Commissioners, do you have any future items that you would like to have brought up on the agenda? Hearing none, we will move on to item 10B, requests for information from staff. Commissioners, do you have any requests for future information? Hearing none, thank you. We'll move on to item 11. That's the directors and legal counsel's items. Secretary Lloyd, if you could do 10A, please, report on previous planning commission items, please.
Yes, on April the 11th, the BCC adopted the master plan and regulatory zone amendment. This was for 395 North up in Cold Springs. That's all I have.
Thank you very much. Ms. Gustafson, item 11B, legal information and updates at this time. All right, thank you very much. Since we are done with item 11, we will move on to our last public comment. Once again, I ask, is there anyone in chambers or via Zoom that would like to make a comment?
I have no public comment in chambers and no hands raised on Zoom.
Thank you very much. Hearing that, ladies and gentlemen, we are adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
Stay
Good
safe,
night.
everybody.